After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 519. Today is Monday, August 29th, 2022, as we are recording. My name is Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Fun in the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad you found us and we hope you will return. If you are returning, we're always glad to see you here. And if you are either new or returning and you'd like to become more involved or just become more official, we'd like to have you join the YouTube community by pressing the little red subscribe button on your right and hitting the little bell very gently so that we can give you notifications.
Tapping.
And then if you want to take part in the alongs and the camaraderie and other things that happens in our group, and that's at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. It's in the little description box below the video. And we did get, thanks to Crystal, we did get a good influx of people to our podcast. I wanted to mention the only one who actually said hello, and that's Adele. We want to welcome Adele to the PHN family, and so that I know we have others, but they didn't say hello. So I don't know who they are. But we welcome all of you.
Yeah, we welcome all of you. Mm-hmm. We're just saying Adele by name because she said hi.
She said hi. Yeah. Okay. Now, how many projects do you have?
4.
Okay, I have 6.
Because I don't count the design because that's not. I didn't even pull a bag because it's too heavy. And that's in shop anyway.
Okay, well I have 6, so I guess I'll start with my tea. In my in my Adagio Forest Creatures bag, but it's really an owl mug. Yes.
Everything's an owl bag for her.
It's owl. It's an owl because I don't have enough owls.
Nope, you don't have any owls.
I don't have any owls. Yes, I went and looked at my bag and said, oh, this is an owl bag I forgot I had. But anyway, Talia gave me this, I think, for Christmas or my birthday.
No, I gave it to you for Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, yeah, okay. So this is a very, very adorable little mug. We're doing the Adagio community for September. I know it's only August, but we're trying to keep ahead because of Talia's surgery coming up. So we're getting all our pictures and all our reviews and everything started early. Talia figured out that by the time we get to that point, we'll have 26 days done. So
if we don't double up any.
Or
skip some, like we are going to skip the turmeric. I've already added that to the plan.
Yeah, I skipped grapefruit because I can't have grapefruit in anything. It just, to me, it taints everything. But anyway.
I skipped
turmeric arcata.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple actually where we didn't finish, but I actually didn't drink the turmeric, whatever that was.
It's Arabica lemon turmeric.
It was nasty.
I was really surprised.
It smelled awful.
I was prepared to really dislike it. It tasted good from the beginning, and it got better. So it's actually going on my wish list.
I just can't believe that. It smells so disgusting.
I tasted the
But you have to have it with the honey that I gave it.
Yes. I tasted the grapefruit that she took, and I said, I'm not opening mine. I can't have anything with grapefruit. It just taints everything that comes into contact with.
I didn't end up finishing it because...
But this one is, can you see that's butterscotch?
And we both have the same one.
Yeah, because it's day 10. This is September 10th. And I'm really enjoying it. Talia had put some
almond milk
in. I did not. Because
mine's a lot gentler because of the almond milk, but it also brings down the
acidity or the flavor.
The acidity of the black tea. The acidity is not the word I'm looking for.
Bitterness.
Bitterness. The astringency. Of the black tea.
This tea, when you do it, we did it at 190 instead of 212.
Right, because I still had cocoa nibs as well as the black tea.
And that can be very bitter. So we did this at 190, and I find that as it cools, it tastes almost like a Werther's Original.
I love Werther's Original.
Yeah, it tastes, and I know that is that butterscotch or caramel?
That's butterscotch.
Okay.
I think butterscotch is another one I can't have in person because I think it's got milk.
I'm sure it does. And this is delicious. I will probably, it's not quite strong enough for me. And you can't.
Because you're just given a set amount of the packet.
Right. And I think you have to be careful, though, how much you put in here because it
Yes.
does have a black tea in it. And if I put too much black tea to the water, I can't drink it. It gives me a stomach ache.
It's a balancing act with this
Yeah.
tea.
Yeah. So, but this, I have this as a base in one of my teas. I think it's my,
There's an ingredient might not be the main base.
I'm sorry?
Is it a base or one of the added teas? Is that the main one?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. All I know is it's a big part of it because I think it's pretty close to being the main part. I think this and vanilla and something else. But anyway, I really like butterscotch and caramel and that kind of stuff. And this is good.
I might eventually have to look into getting a replacement to my bunny because I had that chip on it, and it doesn't hurt it. It just I had to arrange it around. I feel like that's an area where things can stick,
Right.
Because it's rougher.
Right.
But yeah, I'm using my community tea mug. I almost used my Christmas one just cause. This one's so cute. I love all the little faces on it. You can't hardly see
I think
them.
I have 2 mugs and you have 3, don't you?
Because
You have the bunny and the Christmas and this one.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't get a Christmas from Community.
No, I haven't yet.
Well, the only reason why I had one is because someone gifted me.
But they gifted you the bunny one or the bunny?
No, I bought the
Christmas
bunny
one?
one.
They give you-
She gifted me the
Christmas
Christmas
one.
one because I really wanted a Christmas one, but I didn't think I was going to be able to get it. And she had chip. No, I know the
thing
top didn't fit.
Right. She gave it to her.
Well, she gave it to me, but they gave me a brand new one. I don't know what they did for her.
Yeah.
But
And I have this one, which is the one I wanted, and then I have the Adagio one like that. That
the Christmas one changes each year, I think.
Well, I might have to look into that. But that one, because I really like this size, I can have more tea with this because the sugar is less. And so if I have 3 cups of tea that are like this, it's less sugar than if I had 2 cups of the bigger one, if I remember correctly.
I'm still trying to figure out how to flavor it properly. Of course, it's going to be less than 2 cups of that. It's going to be less than 2 cups of the bigger one because...
No, I said 3 cups of this.
Oh.
Because it'll be 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, which is 4. And the other be 2 and 2, be 4, be equal. Generally, during the day, I'll have one of these and one of the bigger one because some of the teas, I started out with the bigger mug and I can't quite figure out how to make it work.
That's
in the small one.
where I am with like some of my black teas.
Yeah.
Because I don't quite have the formula correct for it, so they end up more bitter when I make a smaller cup. So a lot of times I just do those with the...
Well, like I think I had your physician yesterday and it didn't quite taste the way I wanted it to. And I think it's because I'm used to putting it into the bigger mug. And I wasn't sure how much to put in.
Well, I think we'll eventually figure out which ones we prefer in a bigger mug and which ones are smaller. And I mean, certain teas, you just want a bigger mug for. Honestly, even though I drink Zila's Grey Cells in a small one, that's one I actually do enjoy in a big one.
Yeah,
That
I
one
do too. I do too.
Just because I want more of it.
And that's one that I
can go
was
back
able
and
to
forth.
transfer better back and forth. Yeah. And some of mine, like my Where's My Chocolate Monkey and To Have and to Hold, I can do both. But some of them, like I still have to try your physicians and try to get that a little bit more even keeled because I really like that one.
I don't have anything new to show you because it's the same tea as Mom's, except I added 1 tablespoon of vanilla almond milk. I do wish I had to show you, but I was a pig and ate it all. Mom and I had made together. So
Yes, I was supposed to have some for breakfast, but
I thought you might have eaten some, but okay.
I didn't know where you put it.
I put it in the closet, in the cabinet.
I didn't know where you put it.
And I'll save the same container for it. It's not a hard make.
We had fun making it.
Yeah, it came from actually a cookbook. I think I showed it on here. A 5-ingredient, quick, easy, gluten-free cookbook that was put out by the people who did my my gluten-free magazine that I get quarterly. I think it's quarterly.
Yeah, I think it's every
and I've got
month.
recipes tagged in the magazine and in the book. But it came from that, and it's just like you get your gluten-free oats, you have honey, you have peanut butter.
And almond milk, is it? Do you have almond milk?
No,
in
you don't have milk in it.
I forget what else we put in that.
Vanilla extract that was the magic.
Yeah.
We were gonna put a little less salt in it this time.
Yeah, because the salt tends to cling to certain
Well, we
pieces.
also learned not to put it in when we did.
I suggested that even though it says to put it in at the end, that we put it in with all the liquid ingredients so it dissolves.
Right.
Because otherwise it clings to certain, and you get this shot of salt.
Although it was pretty well dispersed when I noticed when I was having it. It was just more salty.
Yeah, I don't like that much
So
salt.
we'll just adjust it. We'll go about half because we were making a double recipe.
Right.
Because it was actually very nicely filled up the container that I wanted. But I think what happened is I had traveled with it to a doctor's appointment, so I ended up putting more in there. So I had it travels very well.
Well, I know that I also tried a new recipe. I had ordered, well, Ty ordered, and I paid her for it. We talked about the gluten-free, dairy-free, gluten-free protein donuts. Actually, it's not gluten-free, is it?
It is gluten-free. It's just not dairy-free.
Yeah. And so I made those in the little loaf pans, and they came out okay, but she's not really clear in some of the directions.
Oh, she's not.
Well, she had one bag, and I'll show it to you when we get done. One bag was labeled donut mix. Okay. The other one was labeled glaze mix, and then you had this, like, I thought it was cinnamon sugar. And I'm looking at the donut mix. I'm looking at the glaze. I'm like, that's not glaze. That's another donut mix. I have to show you. And then the brown sugar stuff, I think that's the glaze.
Oh.
But it wasn't labeled very clearly, so I didn't do anything else with it. And I made them in these little loaf pans, and it's very. If I made it with the
Glaze.
with the glaze, it might be a little more in terms of taste. Like you have more taste to it. I don't mind things that are plain. I like shortbread. I like vanilla wafers, that kind of stuff. That's kind of a low key flavor profile. But
I know she was aiming for sweet, but I wonder if because she's been living a healthy lifestyle so long, if maybe what she remembers as being super sweet isn't anymore, because she has to really watch because she has binging tendencies.
I think that the sweetness was meant to come from the glaze, because I have apples in there, and that makes it a little sweet, and it's not bad. I had one this morning. It spiked my protein up like I wanted it to, and it was not. And
I would
caloric.
imagine the chocolate ones would be very.
Yeah, now that I know it works well, I'm a little leery about chocolate and protein, given the experience I had that one time, because I'm going in stages now. My dentist suggests I go gluten-free, dairy-free, because my stomach doesn't always react.
And because her protein does have whey, you might want to go more towards the apples and some of her other stuff instead of adding dairy on top of dairy.
Right.
But she has a lot of options there, so you have things to choose from. And then if you do decide to go glazes, but like you said, you don't mind more of a shortbread thing, and if it brings your protein up the way you want to, she's a good option.
I got that, and I got.
And to avoid the sticking, that's why her plastic donut holder.
She doesn't have plastic ones. Hers are metal.
Oh, I thought hers were plastic.
I'll have to
I think hers are the plastic ones where you turn them out.
Because I
or maybe Laura was the one who talked about
Laura was the one who talked about plastic.
That would be good.
It would be good, but I don't know if they're the same size.
Right, whereas hers is intended for hers.
And so what I made was, they were supposed to make 6 donuts. You bake them. I was supposed to make 6 donuts. I ended up making 4 of these little loaf things, and the calorie count was like for the middle of the range, middle of the row range, was like 175 calories or something for one, and that's not bad because it's about that big, and it's really. I finally learned how to make the eggs peak.
Yay!
Because you need egg whites for this,
right?
At least it wasn't like she said, "Oh, half a cup of egg whites." I'm like, half a cup of egg. So it took 3 eggs to do that, but yeah, it was. I had my first one today, and it was good. But we should. I
think it's called Prodonut.
Prodo, I think.
Prodo?
Like Prodough, I think is what it's called.
Okay, I can't remember her. I think it's called Prodo, and I found out about it because she has a podcast called "My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You." I love her, but she. If you're easily offended, don't watch her.
We'll try this now, Ty. Good. I like mine better.
Yeah, if you're easily offended or you don't like, sometimes just politics, but a lot of times it's just joke. She tells it how she sees it. She's very, very blunt.
Blunt, yes.
Her thoughts will probably offend you. She says it in her name.
If you're easily offended.
Yeah, but she is a fitness trainer who used to have. She still has to watch herself. She had a binging eating disorder, so she's created.
Did she specify if it was bulimia or anorexia?
It was binging, so that's bulimia. With anorexia, you don't.
With anorexia, you eat a lot, then you go exercise. You eat a lot, you go run.
Okay, I thought you didn't eat a lot at all. I thought that was.
Well, with anorexia, you don't eat a lot, but you think you've eaten a lot.
Yeah.
And you go run and
Whereas
you go walk or
with
whatever.
with the bulimia, it really is. You have a binging, and you either
Because
exercise it or you.
I know when I was on the cusp of that, I would go to have an ice cream, I'd have to go run.
Right.
Or if I had a little too much at lunch, I had to go and do something.
Now, I don't think she was in the two main ones where it's anorexia or bulimia. I think it's just that she would binge eat, feel bad about it, and then try to exercise.
I bet. Well, that sounds like anorexia. It sounds like a.
It was a lot of seesawing.
It sounds like it's emotional. Like maybe she was one of those emotional eaters that maybe she got upset and she ate and then she felt bad.
Also, family influences and everyone in her community. Oh, you're supposed to. That's just the way people are in our family.
If you go back in some of the ethnic families, we have people.
That's what
everything is food. I mean, half my household is on one side of the family is Italian. Everything is food. You don't. Laura knows this. Everything is like a 10-course meal.
I think I used to work with somebody, again, Italian background, and she was talking about the fish Fridays, the big fish Fridays during Lent. And
the big one is maybe it's one Friday. I forget which Friday it is. Laura can tell us in the comments, because she's cooked for it.
Yeah,
I've only been to like one. My great aunts would do it. They would put it on. My great aunts and uncles, and if we happened to be there that year, we would go to it. But it's 7 fish or something. Laura, Laura, when you get the chance, if you see this, can you put it in the comment what it's called? I forget.
Because I remember my coworker mentioning it, but I've never been to one because we're a couple generations down from the really ethnically Italian. We have the Italian, but we're not immersed in it. Yeah. But yeah, that long way to say why she has this protein thing, and why her taste might have adjusted a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do want to find it, I think it's Proto. If you can't find her, let us know. We can direct you. I wish that I could have it, but they tried to do it with dairy free, and they said it didn't taste as good. So that's why they had the whey protein.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, we unintentionally just did a whole thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay, 15, 16, 17 minutes in. Now we can go forward to the alongs. Okay.
Yes.
Andrea, I got your message. I will send you your prize, hopefully after the podcast. If not, in a couple of days. Please keep your eyes open for it and let me know when you receive it. Okay, please. A little bit of an explanation. The yarn place that I wanted to give her the prize to, the gift card or gift certificate or whatever you call it, refused to let me buy it because I was out of Canada. I think that's what the reason was.
No, I do think it's
because it didn't give me any place. When it said where you're from, it had my address and it said Canada, and there's no other option.
Yeah, I think it was because most of the time they're going to have to assume if someone's buying from the U.S., they want it sent to the U.S.,
right? And
it's just too darn expensive.
And I get that.
So they just cut that population. They cut out the U.S.
Group. Yeah, and probably overseas.
It sounds like overseas too. Yeah, you're right.
The only thing was Canada. So
and I get that.
Yeah, for overseas people, I would probably end up giving, or we'd probably end up giving Etsy cards or Amazon cards, because the shipping is astronomical right now.
I know that they would be actually technically the customer would be paying for it, but maybe they just didn't want to deal with the hassle.
Yeah. Well, unless they have free shipping for certain.
Unless they have free shipping, and they might have also just been like, it's so much hassle. You had to go and I don't know. Maybe they go to the post office for it and they find it frustrating, because we used to go for the post office for the ones that were not in the U.S.
Yeah, because it was
we hadn't
discovered yet doing it, and even so, doing the postal service with overseas with all the forms and stuff that drove me nuts. I would just prefer to go to the post office.
Well, now I finally have those things that you can stick on the outside of the package. You stick them in the pockets.
Right. I have some of those. I wish you had told me. Those plastic clear things.
I think I had told you. Or maybe we didn't have the right size.
You told me after you got it, because I have some. I don't know what I did with them now because I didn't use them. They're somewhere.
I have a couple different sizes now because some of them I had were old. Some of them were like these huge ones that I got from.
Yeah, those are huge.
I think I had them from when I was doing prizes.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. Because heaven knows my products aren't big enough for those.
Mine aren't either, unless they have a big package.
That's why I think it might have been for prizes, because sometimes we could sense it pretty hefty.
Now, our alongs. Let's see here. Okay, the first one we're doing is the Arthritis Cardiac Dysautonomia Cal-Cal-Lao. Hashtag PHNACD2022. Okay, on Instagram.
Are you uneven?
Probably.
Okay. As long as it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, well, the thing is, every time I change it, it threatens to fall down.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It runs from July 1st through September 30th, so you've got about a month and a week, I guess, not even a week. Today's the 28th.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So you have about a month left on this along. And projects must be knitted, loom knitted, or crocheted, and 1 whip per project per week. And you can post the FO whenever it's finished. For those who are newcomers who are new to the crafting world, a whip is a work in progress. An FO is a finished object. And I know most of you have been with us forever, but just in case someone is new and doesn't have the terminology down yet, an FO is a finished object and a whip is a work in progress. Okay? Let's see. The projects do not have to be finished to be eligible for a prize, but they do have to be worked on during the along, okay, for this along. They have to be predominantly red or some shade of red, including shades of pink, shades of blue, shades of purple, or shades of teal to be eligible for prizes. Any Franciscan Gypsy design, anything, these are our featured patterns and featured yarns. Anything that is Lady Vertigo Creations, which is my things, Talia's Franciscan Gypsy Designs, and Laura is Lollipop Girl Yarns. I think her patterns go under Laura Concert Designs or something. I forget what they go for. But anyway, anything that one of the three of us does, as long as it fits the parameters of the along, is eligible for 2 chances for a prize for the finished object only, and 3 chances for a prize for the finished object only if it's a featured yarn and featured pattern. It has to be within the theme. Okay, yes. So, and you are responsible for your multiple postings. And I may have said that already. I don't know.
I can't remember. Too long ago.
Too long ago. Let's see. Okay, that takes care of that one. The Tea and Tails Cal-Cal-Lao 2022. Now, all the rules for our longs are basically the same, so I'm going to tell you the things that are different. The difference for this one is, first of all, it's all year. It's been going since January 1st of 2022, and it will go to midnight December 31st, leading into January 1st, okay, of 2023. The featured yarns and featured patterns, again, are my things, Taya's things, and Laura's things, okay? And let me see, I think we did have featured colors. Let me see here. Yes, the featured colors are red, or let me see, that's not right. Oh, this is Tea and Tails. I'm sorry. Okay. For some reason, I got into the Christmas along.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just scratch all that. This is our year long. It does run all year, as I said. They must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted, and they must be tied in some way, shape, or form to the theme tea and or tails, like Earl Grey or for a tea, or
Peter Rabbit.
Peter Rabbit for a tail.
And Kay Jones has a Peter Rabbit sock pattern.
Yes, and you know, even
sounds like something that Joanna Johnson would design, something Peter Rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, Little Women. If you found, let me see if I can think of something that we can tie in that my yarn. Okay, I have. One does not just walk into Mordor. That's a Tea and Tail reference. And then if somebody had a pattern that did something like that, then it would be.
Well, if you did that colorway with the Boromir sock pattern, by Claire Ellen.
Yep. So there are ways. The multiple chances of the prize remain the same within the parameters of the along. It has to be for the finished object only. the marriage of a yarn and a pattern that's featured, and you have to finish it to be eligible for 3 chances at a prize. And if you do just the yarn or just the pattern that's featured, then that's 2 chances at a prize if you finish the project. No multiple postings for whips, just for finished objects that meet the parameters. Okay. If you have any questions, all of this is in the thread in the PHN homepage. Okay. Let's see. Our featured patterns and yarns. Okay, as I said, my things, Talia's things, Laura's things. We also added Joanna Johnson, who is a knit designer. She has lots of tail related things. Mom Cook, who is a loom knit designer, and she has a fair amount of tea things. And then KF Jones, and she's got a little bit of both, but mostly tails.
Yes.
Okay. And she's knit. Okay. Just a little bit of crochet.
She's crochet?
I think she has.
I mean, if it is, it's blanket.
Yeah. I think she has a blanket. I think.
I don't keep track of her crochet patterns because I really don't prefer crochet.
I need to go and look and see. Actually, I need to email her and see if she has any crochet things that she has as patterns.
Well, it should be in her Lovecraft shop because they do a pretty good job of keeping that up to date.
Laura has both crochet and knit.
Mm-hmm.
As does Talia. I just have the one knit at this particular point in time.
All my crochet is toys.
The hashtag for this is PHN Tea and Tails 2022 on Instagram. And this is a quarterly thing, so we're on the 3rd quarter now. We will end the 3rd quarter September 30th is the last day, so October 1st we'll be starting the 4th quarter. Okay? And Tortoise versus Hare is our last along. Am I boring you?
Yes.
Well, you can take over.
Nope. That's cool.
Then don't be bored. Tortoise versus Hare 2022. This is Laura Concert's baby, Crocheting Hoovian, and she invited us to co-host, which we always say yes. We enjoy doing this. And this is anything Tortoise versus Hare related. The rules are her rules, and our rules are very similar. But for this along, we went ahead and said anything that's anything that's tortoise and or hare related is acceptable. So not just knitting, crocheting, and loom knitting, everything. Sewing, cross-stitching, card making, paper crafts, gel craft, those tumblers and things like that.
I'm not asleep. I'm doing my
okay.
Destimulating.
Okay. She got some new, she'll talk about that in the end of it. So yeah.
My eyes are even open.
No, they weren't.
No, they were. I was looking at the screen.
Well, it didn't look like they were open. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, that's about... The hashtag is Tortoise versus Hare 2022. Okay? And the featured yarns and patterns are just mine, Talia's, and Laura's, as long as it is in relation to tea and or tails. Okay? Let's see. And the same rules for multiple postings. So that's all I have to say about the alongs, because I don't need to belabor the point. Okay.
You have 2 more projects than I do.
Alright. So just go twice once. Alright, my first one is in... My tea is all gone. My Knitting's My Bag, Large Angels bag. And this is my Film Noir pattern. No, my film Noir project from the Scrap Shop pattern by Anastasia Satel. This is a crochet pattern for our new people. If you like, a lot of our new people who came from Crystal do a lot of crocheting. That's why I'm mentioning that these are crochet pattern. This is a really nice pattern. I made a little bit of progress on it. I'm still in the same color because I haven't quite decided that I want to change it out. And I'm using basically a DK Weight, Miss Babs, and Dragonfly Fibers, because that's what I had in these colors. I have some really pretty grays and blacks, and it's black, kind of dark gray. I have to check all the different colors I pulled for this. One of the colors I'm using...
You're asking me to keep track of your project.
One of the colors I have for this is called District 12 from the Hunger Games. So technically I could use this for a Tea and Tails if I was eligible for the along.
The underground, that was the underground one that was thought to be destroyed. That was 13? Or was it 11?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've read the book, because every time I read the book, I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
I just sit there and I
That
read
was the way the
book.
first one was for me. Because that's where, whatever it was, that was where Coin came from. Something Coin. President Coin? She became President Coin.
Oh, right. I remember her. Yeah.
Um,
She was a piece of work.
I've actually not read the books all the way through. I probably couldn't handle it now with overstimulation. Yeah, exciting books can overstimulate.
I had to know what happened to PETA. I had to know
Well,
what happened to
I
PETA.
think what I ended up doing is I listened to spoilers so I could get the story I needed, but without necessarily the emotional impact that they give you when you actually read the book. Which is, I mean, that's the worst way to get the story in. But when you have overstimulation issues,
Yep.
I have become a lot more sensitive to books where I never used to cry really for books, well, other than when Rue,
Yeah.
Hunger Games did make me cry.
Yeah.
But, that was beautifully written. The movie couldn't touch it.
Yeah. I just had... my favorite character, as everyone in this house knew, is PETA.
I think PETA, even though they did a decent job in the movie, PETA was so awesome in the book.
Yeah.
As I remember, I never finished the books, but even what I've heard about him in getting spoilers sounds
Right.
like a really good character.
And PETA and Cinna. I loved Cinna.
Yeah, although I really did like the guy they chose for Cinna.
Yes, he
even
was
though
good.
he didn't match the description of Cinna in the
Right,
book.
right. No,
He,
he was
he
perfect.
was a really good choice.
He was a good choice. And I saw Hunger Games, the first one, before I started reading the books, but I didn't see the others until after I read the books. So.
And I know they gave Jennifer Lawrence a hard time, but I thought she was a good Katniss.
she was
And I'm
good.
not a Jennifer Lawrence fan.
No, I'm not either. I don't like her necessarily as an actress. But she.
I thought she did a good job
She
as-
did a good job as Katniss. They were saying that she had too much weight on her for that, and I beg to differ because she was getting
Right, she was poaching and things.
between her and Gale, they were getting a lot.
They were
more
actually
meat.
probably doing better than a lot of the people
Yeah.
in District 12 because they were at least
And then
poaching.
with PETA throwing her bread and stuff all the time.
Right, I don't think that was all the time. That was the one incident.
Yeah. But I think he did it more than once, but not.
And PETA also was in a position where he had a little bit more, so the two of them could. And why did they give her a hard time, not him?
I don't know. Well, he wasn't,
Well, he had. The hard thing is he was very square
Yeah.
in his jawline, so he was going to always look a little bit.
Yeah, but if you saw him, dressed as he was supposed to be dressed, like in some of those costumes, you could see he wasn't a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, let me just finish this stitch and I'll go on to my next project that I have to show you.
But she got the Katniss attitude down pat. I mean, the arrow scene where when they weren't paying attention to her, and then she does that little bow at the end.
Oh, no, I don't remember that.
Even if the movie doesn't quite stand up to the book, you gotta rewatch the scene where I think they're trying to give her a rating or whatever, and
Oh, I think,
no one was paying attention. They were all eating their food.
Doesn't she shoot it into the like the dining area or whatever
She
they're doing?
does. She does something like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
then
remember
she
that.
says, "Thank you for your attention," and does like this little bow thing,
yeah.
and which is totally Katniss.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let me get to the next one because
So I thought she got the Katniss attitude, and Katniss is actually a pretty complex character.
she is. I don't care for her sometimes, but I think
She's not your typical like wooden, strong female character.
Right.
She has depth.
She does, and you don't necessarily like her all the time.
No, but that's
But
good.
but the bottom of her,
The depth.
the core of what
Yeah,
she
that's what I was
is
trying to say.
is a caring person. She cares about her sister. She cares about PETA. She cares about Gale, which is why she gets so darn mad at him.
Well, her caring is what makes her who she is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she has that shell that she has. So
Well, she's
she
there.
layers like an onion.
She's there because she took her sister's place.
Exactly.
I don't think her sister would have survived. I mean, she
Oh.
gets to the point where she could later.
No,
But-
at that point though, no, she would not have.
No, she wasn't.
I don't think she would have even made it as far as Rue did.
She was very sheltered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my second one
As
is
sheltered as you could be in District 12.
in my Knits for Brains owl bag is my Arwen's Hooded Cow project from the Thorns Hooded Cow pattern by FNR, and this is knitted. And I'm using this Babs yarn. in
Isn't
this.
FNR the name of the
It is.
person in the
It
picture?
is, and I need to take that off. But I think I'm just about ready. Yeah, I'm on the last row before I do the purl row on this. Oops.
And
This-
I'm going to actually tell you who really did the pattern because
and this, if you're a new knitter, this is a good one to start with.
Summer Star is the one who did the designing, and her copyright thing says Stargirl Spinworks Summer Star.
Yeah.
Now this is a free pattern.
It's an amazing pattern. If you even think you might want to make this, she may someday decide, hey, that's a lot of work. I want to sell it, because there's like 5 different versions of this.
Yeah, she gives you, like, if you want to do a lace version, here is all your instructions for 3. Here's the wider. She tells you how to do the wider hood. She tells you several different, like, variations of your rows. So no, it's
well
she gives you a lot of work for.
Yeah, if you even think you might do it sometime, or might make a good gift or a good charity project or something, I would suggest you pick it up before the light bulb goes on and say, oh yeah, I should charge for this.
I wear the hoods constantly because I use them as a light sensitivity, as a light blocker. And I also, when I am getting a flare, I will get cold flashes as well as hot flashes. So when I get extremely cold, I use that to get a little bit warmer. Even though it doesn't completely fix the problem, it does help.
That's all I have to say about this. You're next.
Okay, so let me pull up my notes. Make this a little less bright so I can save on some battery. There we go. Alrighty. So, I only worked on this on the podcast last week.
Okay.
I really didn't get a whole lot of crafting done. I basically had migraine all week. And then I chose to read Return the King the entire time at the doctor's office, so I didn't get any knitting done then either. I forgot a lot of things about Scouring of the Shire. But anyway, here is my Lord of the Rings, actually my Hobbit themed cowl. So this is Thorin's cowl. Thorin's hooded cowl, excuse me. Not his color though. He has, what was his? His was
blue.
Sky blue, I think, with the silver tassel
I think so.
and edging, because someone else had a royal blue. His, I'm pretty sure, was a sky blue.
You sure it was the sky blue? I think it was.
I think it was the sky blue. Because it worked best with the silver.
So was the royal blue.
I guess you're right, but I think his was the sky blue. But this is obviously not his. This is purple. Actually, I don't think any of them had purple.
I think so.
Because you had the blues, you had yellow,
Greens.
you had, you're right, someone had green, I can't remember who. Then you had red.
Which had brown?
No, you had yellow, which was Bomber, red, which was Balin. Then I think the twins might have had normal blue or royal blue.
I don't remember.
But I lose track of some of the quite a bit of the extra dwarves who aren't like Thorin, Bomber, Balin.
Yeah.
All the others I kind of lose track of because Keely and Feely don't play that huge of a part, different than the others in the books. But anyhow, so I feel like this is appropriate that I was talking about Return of the King and reading that while I'm working on Thorin's cowl, even though Thorin is already dead by the time that comes along. Bilbo's in it though.
Yeah.
I forgot how quickly Bilbo aged after the ring was destroyed.
Right. He did.
I had forgotten about that.
And they did a good job with that in the movie.
I wish, and I know that they couldn't fit everything in, but I wish they had managed to fit Scouring of the Shire in. Because I think it was important.
Well, that's almost another movie. I mean, because you got all that thing that, what was her name? The one who, the Sackville Bagginses.
Oh, that was so great.
What's her name? Ludwilla or
Oh,
something?
no. Lobelia.
Lobelia.
Smacking them with her umbrella.
Good for her. I mean, she's a pain in the, you know.
Oh, yeah, but
she's... Well,
they were saying, like, no one likes Lobelia, and there's people who are locked up who they would rather have out more than her, but darn, at least she put up a fight.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
those Sackville Bagginses.
Sackville Bagginses. Let me just stop this here. Okay. Didn't get too far, but at least I got... This usually gets worked on in the podcast, and that's about it. That's why it's not making a whole lot of progress. It's not difficult. It's just... I don't know, I'm very distractible right now.
We have a very literary-minded podcast right now. Because we rambled about Hunger Games. We mentioned District 12. Then we rambled about Lord of the Rings because of Thorin's hooded cow.
Oh, it's beautiful weather out there to ramble, at least until it gets too hot.
Did we turn on our lights?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I'll check in a second. Is this the right one? No, this is the...
I mean, the most important one is your light because that's one Davina looks at.
Let me see in just a second. I mean, she knows we're podcasting, but...
She does.
Let me just see. I know I turned on the fax.
Yeah, no, I do remember you saying you were going to do that. It suddenly occurred to me I didn't know whether or not we turned on the blue light.
No.
Excuse me, we didn't. Okay. She shall return. She has a better access out than I do. Is there weather coming on?
No, I think it's just my muscle. It's just something I live with. Okay. Is it my turn again?
It is, because I just finished the hooded cow.
Okay.
And you were starting to grab it, then I asked you about the blue. Yeah, no weather.
No.
Oh, you know what? Thunderstorm tomorrow.
Okay, that's it.
Because
I woke up
I was
late.
noticing I have a little pain back here. I mean, no, some that can be tethered cord, but...
Well, I woke up this morning, my jaw was bothering me. I went to the point where I wondered if I put my night guard in wrong. So I actually took my Meloxicam. Now it's feeling a little better, but... Okay, that's better.
So yeah, apparently there's thunderstorm.
Okay, in my Britney bag. That's what it's called now, my Britney bag. Isn't this pretty? I can see Brittany smiling. Okay, this is my Country Roads blanket project from the Jelly Roll blanket pattern by K.F. Jones. This is not one of her crochet patterns. This is knit. And it's a mess right now. Or as people used to say, a hot mess. I don't know how that's different from a cold mess, but there you go. And I'm still in the same place because I only worked on this during the podcast. I thought I would get more work done on it, but I have been singularly unmotivated. I mean, I did some yarn dyeing, and you'll see that later. Not a whole lot, but some. But other than that, I'm not sure. Daddy was home an extra day.
Right, because of my appointment, but he wasn't even home.
Right, but
because he really was at my appointment all day.
Well, that's the day I did the yarn dyeing.
Yeah.
When he was gone, but this is just basically garter stitch. It is garter stitch, and it's just a long. Right now, it's just a long strip.
Well, make that one of the things you bring with you because for the hospital, that would be.
First, I'll have to. I'm hoping by that time I'll be attached another one, and I have all these. I want to have this all woven in.
Right. So you need to get cracking because we don't have long. Oh, my hair's like a mess in the back.
If I do, I do, and if I don't, I'll leave it here. But I have a couple of projects. Like if I'm not finished with Laura's shawl, I'll bring that. And if
well, you're going to bring your one with the gray because that won't be finished.
Right. So, and I don't want to bring any toys necessarily because...
Well, you have to wear a piecing.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing that. So I want to bring things that are easy. I might start something that's easy that I...
Because even something like Mr. Barks a Lot or something, you actually more likely because it's more round and you have to stuff it as you go.
Right.
That's not necessarily the best travel, even though it'll be fun.
Yeah. I have a couple of her patterns. I have all her patterns except for her gnome, all her toy patterns except for her gnome, and I'm going to get that one. If you are looking for toy patterns, and you don't have them yet, go over to Chronically Crocheting's shop on Etsy. She's got a really cute Mr. Purrs-a-Lot, Mr. Barks-a-Lot. She has a gnome. She has a unicorn. And Crystal, I'm still waiting for my owl.
That would be cute.
Yes, I'm still waiting for my owl, Crystal.
I need to design you a palm owl.
Yes.
I meant to do a palm animal this year, but I did something else instead.
Yeah. Well, I know that Crystal, like Talia, has chronic illness, so she knows I'm teasing her. I do want an owl, but I'm not going to rush her for it. So I'm hoping that she will get the inspiration to make a Mr. Hoots-a-Lot or something.
There you go. There's her shop. I just have to make sure I'm following her because I'm actually not sure if I am.
Yeah.
And she's really low priced.
She's very reasonable, and she's got good. The patterns are written well, and they're cute. She made a Mr. Purrs-a-Lot for Davina, and Davina loves it.
I'm not a gnome person, and her gnomes are cute.
Aren't they adorable?
I don't quite get the gnome thing.
I like gnomes.
And hers are cute. I probably wouldn't pick them up because I'm not a huge gnome person. I think it's adorable.
I will pick them up because I want to support her shop, and I might do them. I'm a little put off by the beard.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, you know, it's crochet. I can do that. She's a sweetheart. So if you if you are in the market for toys, you know, like I said, I think she has a cat, a dog.
She does.
A gnome, a unicorn.
She's a cat, a dog, a gnome, and unicorn, and it looks like she has some sort of scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
And she's crochet.
Yes, she is. I actually think Mr. Purslot's my favorite, but that's only because that'd be the one I'd make.
Right.
I think the gnome is really well done.
Well, you could have a favorite and not. You know,
I'm just not a gnome person.
I like gnomes.
I know it's like a huge thing where everyone's making all these gnomes, and I have zero desire to make a gnome.
I've always liked gnomes. I used to have.
This is the kind of gnome I see you making.
When I was in high school, I found the big book of gnomes, like one of those great big coffee. I've always loved gnomes, so I'm ahead of the curve in terms of liking them. But I've never made anything.
Yeah, I think that if you got crystals, since you already know you like her pattern setup, that would be a good choice. And it's crochet. And most of them tend to be knitted.
It's not like I don't know how to find her. Yep. So Crystal, shout out. Yes. Okay. That's all I have to say about this.
Okay, so actually it's a good thing because I think that the one I was about to start a row on was going to be my next project. So let me go ahead and check my notes. It's not like I have that many projects to choose from this time around. Okay, so yeah, it is this one. I've been trying to, I want to turn the heel for this and maybe even free up these needles before the hospital, because then I can stick another pair on here that I can take with me that are like afterthought everything.
But you can only basically do that before the surgery, right?
What?
The knitting.
I can lay flat because...
But you have to hit your hands up like this.
If I have it supported, because it's also... if I have it, my elbows on my stomach, because socks are light enough.
Okay.
If I had a shawl or something, that's going to be a lot heavier, and that would be like a pre-surgery thing. But most of them are probably going to be small things like socks, because even the hood is going to be a bit heavy. Whereas a sock, it's so light, especially if I do fingering weights.
And that's the one thing that will probably stop me from taking Laura's with me if it's not finished, because it's a big bag, and what I want to do is have maybe one big bag with
several projects
in it, like maybe my owl bag that Mama C made it for me, right? Yeah, that Mama C made it for me, Christina, and just put a bunch of smaller projects in it. That way, I can have a little bit of variety.
My variety is going to be in yarn colors. And I might still have ones where I can turn the heel if I've already turned to the heel, if I'm just knitting flat for the foot.
And I could potentially bring Laura's with me if I just took 1 or 2 yarns and the shawl and put it as the main thing in that bag, and then put other bags on top of it. So I could do that as well.
And I could see myself having the shawl there if I feel like I can, because it's a bit, I'm going to possibly want something with the bigger needles, and that size, I can't remember what size needles. I think it's a 10.
For what?
The shawl I'm knitting.
Your shawl? I don't know what shawl, your own design?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. You didn't tell me. I think you used the 7, didn't you?
I have no idea. I have to look at it. But...
Oh, maybe I have it here. Hold on.
You're not working on that.
But I have it on here. I have one of yours on here. I'm not sure if it's the right one, though.
Yeah, I think you have the other one.
Okay. But didn't you use the same size?
I can't remember. Because I haven't worked on the second one in a while.
Let me see. You have to talk about something. I'll find it.
Okay. So, but yeah. This is the Kingfisher socks. I hope to have the heel turned before surgery. I don't mind even if I'm still working the foot, because a toe is actually fairly easy to work. And when these are done, I'll free it up for, I can't remember if it's you who dyed it up, or it might have been actually, I can't remember if it was you, Marigold Jen, or...
Oh, I don't even have it here. Look, I have ... needles.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can't remember if it was you, Marigold Jen, or Wild Hair, who dyed up this black, blue, and white.
That sounds like my Blue Jay Way.
No, you know what? I don't have Blue Jay Way.
Oh, you don't?
It might have been No Maker's, her Nightwing colorway.
Yes, yes.
Because I remember being like, that's a lot of white for that colorway. And I've never knitted into anything, so I'm saving for a pair of Afterthoughts Everything socks to take with me. So So I want to free up a pair, either free up a pair of ones or find a pair of ones so that one's pre-started too. But yeah, that's a long way of saying that I want to turn the heel for this. I'm about 1 inch away for starting the heel, and the heel is, I always have problems remembering this.
Juniper.
Juniper, thank you. Heel's juniper, and heels and toes are juniper, and this is, you know, lovely Kingfisher. Very close. Like I said, about 1 inch away. And then I'll be able to start my heel. And I mean, the heel goes fairly quickly. Usually what takes the longest is picking up the gusset and decreasing down that. But yeah, I'd like to finish. I've been on the second sock for this for a while.
I think I'm going to go through the stuff I have, like I have things that I haven't worked on in a whole long time. Do I still want to do it? My gauge is going to be changed for some of them. Is Kay's burrow wrap seed stitch?
No, the burrow wrap or the Dobbin wood, because the Dobbin wood has some seed stitch.
No, the burrow wrap.
The burrow wrap is garter stitch. The reason why you haven't worked on it in a while is it has something different on the edging than the blanket that you're currently working.
Oh, that's
and
right.
You kept messing it up and mixing up. If you brought the burrow wrap with you and didn't choose to bring the blanket because of all the edges, or because you don't want to pick up the sides while you're in the hospital, then I think that would be a good choice, because you don't have to do any picking up the stitches.
Yeah, I couldn't remember why I stopped, because it's not hard.
No, that's why you stopped. It's because you kept confusing with the scarf blanket. But if you don't bring the scarf blankets with you because you don't want to pick up stitches in the hospital, I think...
Because I think the light's going to be kind of dim there.
Well, also, that might not be the best situation to learn a new skill, because you're going to be a bit stressed. You don't ever really enjoy, not that you would enjoy seeing me in pain, that would be kind of sadistic of you, but
Cerebell's coming with me.
Oh yeah, Cerebell's coming with you. I imagine you have at least one of these coming with you, and then yeah, I think that the burrow wrap could be a good choice, because you can change yarns, but you're not going to pick up stitches.
I'll probably bring a loom knit baby hat, and I'll probably bring maybe the burrow wrap with me.
And I just need to make sure when I go in the waiting room the day before that I have a sock with me.
Yes.
So that I'm not having to steal a project of yours because I'm so nervous and need to get my mind off of it.
Yep.
Although I think maybe the nerves will go down a little bit because I've at least had a surgery.
That project that you worked on with me,
that was an awful project.
It was. Let us be clear. It wasn't hard to knit.
No.
It was the construction. I tell you, how am I supposed to make this a hat?
And she was, the person who wrote the pattern, she was very unclear about how this is supposed to be. I have no idea how she made it into a hat.
It was really, you knit it like this, right? Like,
either we didn't follow directions right in knitting it.
But that you saw the directions. But you did it was a free pattern, I believe. And it was easy. I thought, okay, I just have to seam it. I don't have to do any, Kitchening or whatever it is you do when you go around and around. And I was like, really? I mean, maybe I'll do a bankhead.
Part of me wants to bring, as my slightly bigger project, partially so I have an excuse to bring my bunny with me, is make her nurse's outfit.
You might lose it, Tony.
Yeah, I probably don't want to lose her.
Yeah, just leave it.
You
can still bring the
nurse's outfit.
But
that might be the only way that darn thing will get worked on.
I think I want to make another bankhead.
Do that. That was a fun pattern.
I enjoyed the bankhead.
That's the only time I've knit 2 at a time hats. Because I made my grandfather's and my grandmother's at the same time. Hers was the loveliest green.
And his was brown, wasn't it?
His was brown.
Because they had to match his sweater.
I think his matched was actually the same yarn as his sweater.
Yeah.
I think hers might have been Matosh.
But it was funny because
I got really tired of the pattern though, because I did like 3 in a row.
I actually made 2 of those, and this is me, not liking to do magic loop. I might have to learn how to use magic loop before I get there.
Magic loop's easy
because then I can close the hat without having so much trouble.
You should see if Kay does have a tutorial on magic.
I'm sure she does.
I have a tutorial on magic.
I have it.
What, mine?
Yeah, you sent it to me. I just haven't had a chance to look at it.
Okay, so yeah, if my instructions are clear enough, I don't know how clear they are because, yeah, but I did create a video for you.
Because I did like, and if I learned to do the magic loop with a hat, then I might be more willing to do some other things.
Right.
I probably won't do any big projects because I really do have, except for shawls, I do have a hard time learning how to drop down and fix. I can't see it. I can fix my crochet. I feel comfortable with my crochet, but still not there for knitting.
Well, if you ever were to do socks, I think the best way for you would be the Afterthought Everything socks, because they do actually have you place a like I do for the Christmas stockings. They have you put knit in a waist yarn, so that later on you pick up the stitches on either side of the waist yarn, and then you just take the waist yarn out.
Yeah, I have to see, because I did at one time I did a for some project. I think I pulled it out eventually, but I actually did do a provisional cast on, and that wasn't very hard. Just crocheted something, and you know, and then
I think it was a sweater. That's usually when I've seen them, is for sweaters.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Let me see. Is it my turn?
Yeah,
yours?
because I've been talking about the Kingfisher.
Okay. So my turn is. We're doing a lot of waffling today.
We are doing a lot of waffling today.
My large silver shed.
Wait, yeah, I think I did the last one.
I've got 3 down here.
I have 1, 2.
So you have to do one.
I do?
Well, 1, 2.
1. No, I did this one.
Okay,
1,
so
2.
you've done 3.
Yeah. Well, I don't have. I don't have 5. I have only 4. So I did 1. I did 2.
How many do you have left?
2.
Okay. I've got 3 left. I think 1, 2, 3. I have 3, so I can go next.
Yeah, because I literally have. We've been waffling so much I can't remember who went when.
This is not good for people with like brain fog and old people brain.
Well,
okay?
honestly, Mom, with the medical stuff that you have going on as well, you could probably qualify for calling brain fog. Especially if you do especially since there's suspected but undiagnosed fibro.
Yeah, yeah.
Because fibro fog is a known thing.
10-year podiversary bag. Crystal was so cute when she talked about our podiversary. She was like, "Isn't that amazing?" And oh, she's so sweet. She makes me happy. I hope she sees this because she's such a sweetheart.
Yes, she is.
Okay, this is my Surabel that I was talking about. The Surabel is by Sarah Sweetheart, and it's meant to be a scarf.
Oh, she adjusted it for everything.
I make everything with this. This happens to be a baby blanket. The yarn is from...
Did you make a stole out of it one time?
Yes.
I thought so. Is that your white one? No, the white one was with bobbles.
I didn't keep it. I gave it to somebody, I think.
Did you?
Yeah.
The cerebral one, not the white one with bobbles.
No, I have the white one with the bobbles. The yarn was given to me by Kara. The first time I ever had it was given to me by Crystal. This one was given to me by Kara. This is a lighter weight than Crystal gave me. And this is a baby blanket.
It's so pretty. Yeah, Mom really has fallen in love with this the Turkish yarn.
I think it's Turkish yarn. Yeah, it's called Ice Yarn, and I really love it. It's great for baby blankets and stuff. It is soft. And this one in particular, I would love to know how they did this, because I think I have an idea. Because I'd like to do something like this, the yarn. And it reminds me of an English garden or some kind of garden with little flowers.
Yes, it does. Well, maybe not English unless it's been rain after rain, because it's not dark enough.
Oh, maybe it's a spring garden.
It looks like a spring.
Yeah, yeah. But this is fun. I enjoy this. I can't remember how many projects I've done with this pattern. You know, I've done cowls and stoles.
Well, you've easily
and
beaten out
and...
my Diana's hat and oh blast, that cowl I did for the longest time.
Oh, the I know what it is. I can see it.
Her name is like Kara Spencer or something.
It was Karina Special.
Karina Spencer.
It was you based the Duke on it.
Yeah, I used the construction to help me with the Duke.
Davina would know what it is. She has one.
Does she?
Yeah.
Did I have one? Okay.
You gave me one. No, you gave me a Duke.
I gave you a Duke. I might have also given you one of... Oh, hold on. Zuzu's Petals. Zuzu's Petals.
Zuzu's Petals. Zuzu's Petals. That is a reference. Zuzu Petals.
And we had to tell the reference.
Yes.
That is...
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. I just want to make sure I remember bringing hers out.
And I'm using a slightly bigger hook than is necessary for this. I think this is a sport yarn as opposed to like a DK or a worsted. And I'm still using a fairly large hook. I think it's a G or an H. Might even be bigger than that. I can never read these things because I never like put them in. I need it to be like in permanent, indelible, large black ink on these because I can't read this.
Let me see, Mom.
Let me see. a J or an I don't know.
Oh, it's a 5mm. I'm not sure what 5mm is because I don't
Yeah, I think
crochet off enough to have it in my head.
I think that's an H.
Well, didn't we say like a 3.5 is an E and a 4 is a G?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I
don't crochet often enough anymore.
Because I just go by the letters, so I don't know what the numbers are, and sometimes they don't have the letter on it.
Well, it's not like a lot of knitting needles which will have both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm using Knit Picks for this one, and I think it's only older Knit Picks that don't have the numbers. I was looking at a newer pair. It must have been like one of the ones I picked up singly and not in my interchangeable set.
Right.
Because I was looking at a newer pair and it actually had it like engraved in the bottom of the needles.
Well, the problem is not that it's not there; it's that I can't read it.
Well, I know sometimes it's really hard to like you have to hit the light just right for the ChiaoGoo ones.
Yep.
And with in the dim light I tend to be in, sometimes I have a lot of trouble seeing it.
Right. But this goes really quickly, and I could potentially finish this before I go, but that just means I'll have another one.
Oh yeah,
I have all
totally.
this.
Well, you have a ton of ice yarn.
Yeah, and I've got. I think this is only going to take two skeins of the yarn, maybe.
Because you have one in that way, and you have, or were they both worsted? Did I get you both worsted? Or
No, I don't remember.
Mom and I did trade, so it's not like I just bought her yarn.
No, I bought something that she wanted and gave it to her, and she bought something I wanted and gave it to her.
Because she had a deal at Lovecrafts to get West Yorkshire spinners, and she kind of guessed already the colors I would want. I don't think you guessed the red-orange one, but you knew the green one right away. And I had so many birds ones that I was trying to go a little bit of a different feel. And that green one was gorgeous. That will pop on my needles at some point. But, yeah, I had, I chose that one, and I also chose this really pretty reddish, I'm not sure if it was sunrise, sunset. It was beautiful. So very different from each other. And when she picked those up for me, I got her some ice yarn. The price was equivalent, but because West Yorkshire is more expensive than ice yarn, she got physically a lot more. Although you end up having to get a little bit more than intended because she accidentally ordered two.
Right.
She took off the shipping for the second one,
but she couldn't afford to.
She couldn't afford to just eat it.
And I get that.
And honestly, I was like, my mom loves this yarn anyway. We'll just take it. And it was the color you liked better anyway. It was the blue one. I mean, you would like the pink one too, but it was the blue one.
Yeah, I love blue.
Weren't you thinking of like saving it for something for you, or were you planning to make another baby blanket with it?
I have to see how much yardage I have. I don't know if it's enough to make an Afghan. And then I would have to, get back to her and say, hey.
Well, thankfully she has those big sets. You just have to stock it and see when the particular color you want.
And it's not expensive.
No. And I believe you can put a notify me for the color you want, which is why I knew as soon as they got restocked. But, wow, we are super waffly.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It's my turn. Yeah, let me just finish my 2 stitches here so I don't lose them. I always hate stopping when I'm that close to the end, particularly with socks, because I have lost stitches that way.
Yeah. I've noticed that I'm very crochet heavy the last few times.
You have been. That is your go-to. You do the knitting, but honestly, I think at your heart, you are a crocheter. It's just your natural preference. Now, even though I started as a crocheter, I do seem to gravitate towards knitting. I think part of it is that I don't have to focus as much because the stitches are all in the needle.
Right.
So, as long as I don't drop stitches, which I totally have. I've totally pulled my magic loop out when I fell asleep for like 5 seconds and had to pick up stitches.
I mean, I can see me for knitting basically doing hats and fingerless mitts and things like that, scarves and things like that.
Yeah.
But knitting things, I mean, I have done shawls, but I don't see myself doing anything like socks or sweaters or anything like that. It's not really where I am because it's too big and too likely that I'm going to have a mistake.
I should probably cast on 1 pair of fingerless mitts to take with me. I mean, it has cabling in it, so I'm not sure if I want to do that. I'll have to think about it.
At least the cabling's not hard in knitting.
No, it's not. It's more that I'll be immediately post-surgery.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much focus I'll have for that.
Maybe you should do the ones you did for the which yarn was the really busy yarn, Buyakasha or whatever it was.
Yeah, but that's the Fun mitts. Now there's seed stitch on that.
I know, but so you would have to focus.
Yeah. It's a little bit more focused than just doing ribbing.
Right.
Where ribbing, well, if you're really tired, you can't do ribbing. But ribbing usually is okay. And I should bring at least one pair of the vanilla socks that Kay has, where I'm just going round and round and round. But here is the first sock for the shorty socks. These are my highlighter bubblegum shorty socks. The pattern is bubblegum shorty socks. This was a free pattern. I like having shorty socks when at night or sometimes I don't want to feel, I get this problem sometimes where, particularly at the end of the day, my legs will get really itchy from any socks. And so, or I'll get really warm. So I'll take those off and I immediately want to put on a pair of footy socks. I know I have another pair somewhere, my very first pair of socks. I don't know where they disappeared to. But I have the other pair that, I think Margaret made them for me on her on the loom. Yeah. I wear those all the time because
it was a knitting machine. It was
knitting machine. Knitting machine.
She made it each
and I love the little tab where you pull it up. I actually was looking for a pattern that did that. I haven't been able to find. Also, I'm cheap. I'm looking only at free patterns.
Right.
But I haven't been able to find one that has a little. I'm not even sure how I'd look for that. Like sock pattern with tab in the back. I don't know how.
Well, you should just ask Margaret.
Well, I think it might be a different pattern because it's a knitting.
Well, it
machine.
might be, or she might just have adapted it.
True.
I'm sure she'd be happy to tell you.
But yeah, so I have wanted to have more. So this has an adorable little pattern.
It's pretty.
It really is.
I still have to dye up our yellow yarn and our purple yarn.
And this is such a Dinosaurs Rar. And this is hold on, I had to pull out a tag because my brain's not good. Dragon Horde yarn. From what I understand, her colors have changed a bit. I'm not sure. I haven't ever bought anything from her shop. I remember looking at her shop way back when. But apparently her other sister dyes now, and her grandmother dyes yarn, and maybe one of her aunts, both of her aunts.
Something like that, yeah.
They're just a yarn dyeing family, which is actually really cool. Because then they could talk colors Mom talk colors at me, and after a while, it just doesn't fit in my head. I just don't think in that way. I can't visualize it. Whereas I can visualize how a toy forms up. That's easy. But anyway, this is sock number 1. I know it fits. It's actually rather warm. But they're US zeros? Is that even how you say that? They're zeros. So that's probably why they're so warm.
They're very tight.
It's very tight. And then I have started my gusset decreases for the second sock. I mean, it's such a short leg that you don't go very long before you're doing gusset decreases. It took forever to get I think it was like 2 inches because I'm on zeros. So it's like, am I at 2 inches yet? You do 1,000 rows, still only at a quarter to go.
The inch that never ends.
Especially with zeros.
That might be the kind of sock like if I had DK that I should try. I don't like to wear them though.
And this is the kind of socks I don't want the shorties with DK.
Yeah.
Because the whole reason I'm wearing them is to kind of cool up a little bit, and then also they're kind of a slipper replacement.
Well, if they're slippers, if I did them as a slipper replacement, I would do them in DK. But the thing is, I don't particularly care for shorties.
Well, if they don't leave the house, would that make the difference?
I don't know. I just don't like the way they feel.
Now this one, I think does come right to the ankle bone. Whereas the ones that Margaret made,
they're a little higher.
They're a little bit higher.
I like those, yeah.
But I have several other patterns for shorties. This is the first one I chose to try because it told me how many grams of yarn I needed.
Is that the one that Rena did, right?
No, I have that pair.
Okay.
I do intend to make that, but I had these before she posted. I just picked this one because, like I said, it had amount of grams for the yarn because I'm using scrap yarn.
Right.
Using things from old projects for these, which is a great way to use up. Particularly, this is from, I think I made a Diana's hat or Davina's hat for Davina from this.
That's the other thing that you made a lot of, Diana's hat.
Still doesn't match up to the number of Sarabelle's you've made or the shawl.
I made a lot. I think we might be close on the shawl because the shawl's bigger.
I still don't think that I made quite as many Diana's hats as all that. I did make quite a few.
Yeah. Well, I think the one that's probably closer is the Zuzu's petals.
No, actually, I think more Diana's had
Really?
stitches. Yes.
Okay.
Because, they, for one thing, they worked up quick if there's no lace. And Davina wears hats like crazy.
Yeah,
So
she
I
does.
was constantly making her hats. And I have a collection of hats.
Okay, I have a couple of your hats as well. The next one is my virtual hug shawl project from
I
the
don't think you have any Diana's one. You gave me the Thor one I made you.
what?
We called it Thor, but it's a lovely gray blue. I think it was a
I gave it to you?
you gave it back because I gave it to you. You said you didn't like where it landed on your neck.
Yeah, I can't wear it if
You
even just talking about it sometimes just like
Yeah,
can't.
so you didn't like where it landed, so you gave it back to me. So yeah, I think that was what's his name from Shenandoah.
Oh right. Mm-hmm.
I think it was the silky yarn that I tend to like for him.
Flock Rosanas?
Yes, Flock Brizonas. I have at least one other hat that's for sure his.
I have some yarn of his in there. I think I kept one of his skins. I gave you one, I think, but I have one.
And he has other beside the silk one, but that was the first one I picked up for him.
Mine, the one I had, I think is a cotton silk, which is really.
Right, and I think I gave away my cotton silk just because I'm not a huge cotton person. I'm very picky about my cotton because I can feel right away, and if I wear too much of cotton, it's a sensory thing.
Yeah.
The only one I've been able to tolerate is the Knit Picks cotton.
Okay, now
Your turn.
somebody, it made me laugh. Somebody did something in, what was it? It was one of the yarns, and I think it was Sugars and Cream, and she made it a tea reference because you have sugar and cream in your.
Oh, that's great.
And I thought that's awesome.
good. You know what?
That's
Kudos.
awesome. That's awesome. I just thought that was the greatest thing.
Hey, if you can make an argument for it,
Yeah, well, it works. She's absolutely right, 100% right. And I just thought it just made me laugh. I was so, yeah. We have original thinkers in our group. Okay, my virtual hug shawl from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. This is the other thing I make a ton of. This one is for Laura Concert, and I told her during the Zoom this past week I had to rip it back a little bit because there was a mistake I couldn't live with. It just wasn't working. So I went back and I fixed it. I'm trying to find my hook. It's in there somewhere. I fixed it, but I'm still getting back to the part where I was. And in the process of fixing it, I found that other weak part of the yarn that I had thought I had, but I couldn't find it again.
right.
I found it when I ripped it back, and so I
Well,
just,
then that was beneficial.
yeah, it was beneficial because I couldn't live with her having that in there if I could find it.
Because it would be bad if she immediately had to patch her shawl.
Right.
Excuse me.
Because I don't like to give things that are damaged. Where is my hook? I know it's in here somewhere.
That's a big bag. Is it caught up in your shawl? Sometimes they get hooked
It
on
usually is. That's where I usually put it.
I know. I mean, like not on purpose. Not where it's supposed to be. Like actually,
There
there.
it is.
That's what I
Okay.
thought it might
Yeah,
be.
okay. Thanks. All right. So yeah. So this is. I'm just in the process right now of getting where I was. This is what I have to redo. You know, to get to that back where I was. You can see where I had to tie yarn together the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. I don't mind fixing my crochet. I can do that. I know how to do that. It's not like knitting where I just kind of I'm afraid to try because then I have to get Talia to do it, and then she says you're creative and I can't fix it.
No, I do. When
She
you're
fixes it a lot of times,
Yeah.
but I feel bad about it.
Sometimes you are quite creative in how you.
I don't like to have to depend on that, and I don't have the patience partially, but also I don't have confidence, but it's also the hand cooperation to just do what you have to do to rip it, to drop down, fix it, and then redo it so you catch. I just can't do that. My hand doesn't like it, and I'm hoping that there'll be a time where I can do that kind of stuff. But I'm just not. I mean, I am a knitter, but I'm more of a crocheter, and I can fix things and I can do things, and I'm much more confident. I'm hoping that I can get more at that point when I knit, and maybe that I do smaller things for a while first.
Right.
That maybe I'm not as adverse to ripping back completely. But yeah, so this is, let me show you here. Don't lose myself. Whoops.
Hook down.
Hook down. It's going to find Crystal's yarn down that she dropped. So here you go. You can see it is getting quite big. There's all kinds of yarn in here, so I'm not going to go through it because I don't know everything that's in here.
Right.
It's got, I know it's got Miss Babs and Malabrigo and stuff, but I don't know some of the other stuff. It's just yarn that I have. Because sometimes they don't have the ball band.
Right.
Or sometimes they did when I started, and I thought I saved the ball band, and then...
Well, that's what tends to happen with a lot of my leftovers. Or say I had wound it up for another project, and then I didn't end up doing that project. I have lost ball bands for that.
Right, right. And that happens to me every once in a while as well.
I think that's why I had to think about who dyed up the Nightwing yarn was because I lost the ball band a long time ago. But I am pretty sure it's a No Makers.
It was No Makers.
I have one of her Batman ones, too. It's like Gotham something or other.
I think she was one of the first indie dyers we bought yarn from.
She was very early on for us.
She doesn't dye yarn anymore. That's unfortunate.
Well, I know the reason she started was her hands. Because she was using those square needles to try to help relieve that. I have a pair of square needles. I tried them. They're really weird.
I think I have a pair somewhere.
I have a pair of US 8s if you want to use them.
I have to try them. I don't know that I'm going to like them.
I mean, it's worth a shot since
Yeah.
you do tend to use 8s. I don't need to use the square one, and for me...
I know the gauge is different.
It is. You'd have to do... But, you don't tend to do a lot of things with gauge anyway.
No.
So for you, it wouldn't make a difference.
Okay, what did I just do here? Did I do the tail? I think I did.
I don't know.
I think I did.
So my last pair is in the ugly green teacups bag. Well, the teacups are fine. The teacups on an ugly green field.
It's not ugly. Poor teapot.
Oh no, the teacups are fine. It can't help it that the green field is dying around it. So, I decided that for surgery I wanted to start some Afterthought socks. I looked at quite a few patterns. I ended up going with something I already owned, actually. The Afterthought Everything socks. And I seem to remember when these came out. They were like a big deal when they came out.
I think I actually have a copy of that.
Erica Kempf Broughton is the person who wrote it. And I'm calling this Colorama surgery socks. Because Colorama's the colorway color. Because, I'm original. And this is Wild Hair.
Yes, it is.
Very bright. It does let you come out of crayon box. And
Neon crayon box.
yeah, I barely started, but that's all I wanted to do was just start it.
I was okay with this tie. I just lost my add-on.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just started the cuff. But that's all I really want to do right now because this is going to be something I work on, post-op, maybe a bit pre-op too. But I think that these bright colors will be fun to have during it. And for my heels and toes, which I probably won't do while I'm there. I mean, I might surprise myself, but I don't think I will. I have this blue, which is one of Mom's. It was a mini. I don't think you ever did it in another color.
Oh, yeah. That's my water spray. I need to take a look at that again so
Yeah.
I can redo it.
So, yeah. I do need to stick in one of these bags that'll have Afterthought everything's in them. I need to stick some waste yarn. So that way I can place the waste. I'm going to need either a little ball of waste yarn or just have a few strands in each bag.
Do you use the same type of yarn for that waste yarn, or do you use a different...
I usually try to go the same type of yarn. And I tend to use waste yarn for that versus what I do for the sleeves. Because it just, for this particular pattern, they do call for waste yarn. And especially since I'm knitting it in.
Right.
But yeah, that is that for me.
Okay, let me just get this to a point where I can stop because I don't want to get confused with what yarn goes where.
Right.
Let me see here. That should do it. There. Okay. Put this here. Okay, my next one is My last one is in my Kiki Boo Owls bag. Kiki Boo Owls, that's Denise from the Knitting Den podcast. She's not
That's who did
podcasting
my
anymore.
last bag too.
Poor maligned bag. I'm doing my Preemie Baby hat. It's a loom knit hat. No pattern, just going round and round and round. I did make some progress on it. And I think it's going to be a hat, but it may be something else. We'll see. Because I've been known to change these hats into something else when I close it up and then turn it upside down and make it something else. So,
I didn't realize you've ever...
I made an owl.
Oh, that's right, you did.
In fact, I don't know where it's at.
Yeah, he might be somewhere behind me.
Yeah. So this is a Lion Brand yarn, I believe. It's that Heartland.
Oh, yeah.
Heartland. I like this yarn. It's pretty. It's got lots of depth of color.
Yes, it does. They have one other one that has some depth of color to it too. She used it for...
Most of it does. All their nature ones have.
Well, this was not part of that particular group. It was like gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. It was a different yarn, but it had some similar colors, and it was also Lion Brand.
Well, they have some pretty yarns. Lion Brand's a good brand for acrylic as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're very obsessed with the Wild for their, it was pretty much unplied. And, it was very heavy for, like, blankets and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about, the one I tore out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. It's really soft. In fact, I didn't do that. I thought I did the Zarina shawl in that, but I didn't.
No, that was, out of a different acrylic.
That was, Cameron Simply Soft.
Yeah.
And that was very, it didn't drape really well. I mean, it did, but it felt very warm. And I gave it to Talia.
Yeah, actually, we were talking about me maybe passing it along to someone on the podcast because it's not quite the, I tend to want them a bit bigger. And, I also need it to be more of a natural fiber.
It might be good for a smaller person.
Yeah.
Because it's a nice shawl. It's my
and also not everyone wants their entire arm covered the way I do.
I like it that way too. I like to be able to have some coverage with that.
Is that your last?
That's my last.
Mine too.
So I don't want to stop in the middle of this loom knit thing, so
I'm just gonna say shop news because I don't really have any. I just have.
Well, you need to do something that you can do because I have to finish this.
Well, that's what I'm doing right now. Shop won't reopen until sometime after surgery, but the patrons did get their patron only pattern for this year. I think that might be a $5 member only perk, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. You set all that up. I don't have a whole lot to do with the Patreon because it's not for me necessarily. I go in once in a while. I hate having to use your password and your stuff, and if I don't, I have to pay for it. I'm not paying for it.
But yeah, sorry, I'm trying to remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah, so the shop will be opening sometime after surgery. A new pattern is available for the patrons on Patreon. It hasn't been tested, so that's basically going to be its testing ground.
Yeah.
That will be available to be released, if I remember, 6 months from now. If people are not aware, the Palm Bunny is now available for purchase on Lovecrafts. I'll put it up on Etsy when I'm back in the shop again.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's it for shop news for me.
Shop news for me. I put up one of the skeins of the yarn that I showed you the last couple times. I have 3 that need to go into the shop, and I have a couple to show you. But first I want to say that Crystal did a wonderful podcast for us. She started with, I sent her something a couple months ago. She started by looking at all that, the talk about the book and all this kind of stuff. And then she went in and did a very nice kind of a plug, if you will.
Yeah.
That's not the right word, for all the stuff that's happening to Talia and what we're having to do. And because of that, I've gotten several purchases in my shop. Talia's got a little uptick in her donations, and what's the other thing? Oh, we've had an uptick in subscribers as well. We are very grateful to Crystal for what she did for us, because she has such limited energies, and yet she does for others. And we want to, if you don't watch her, you might want to check her out.
She's sweet.
You know, subscribe to her, you know, say hello, and you know, she's really nice. She's just a doll. So thank you, Crystal, for all that you did. I did want to show the new yarns that I had originally not been sure what I was going to call this, but Davina made a suggestion, and I might be going with it later. This is Miss Scarlet, and it's not showing.
No, it's not showing nearly as
It's
nice
not showing
as
as
it
red. I think it's showing more on the others. This is this is not out of the bottle red. This is a actual put together color, and so this is Miss Scarlet, and Davina will be pleased that I named it that.
Yes.
This is not Miss Scarlet as in Gone with the Wind. We're talking about the game Clue. Okay.
So you just have to decide who's next on the list.
Yeah, I have to go back and see if I can revamp my Professor Plum Deluxe and make that a Mr. Plum.
Right.
But anyway, because it's been a long time since I've had that in the shop.
Right.
So I have two of these. They're fingering sock weight, and they're 75/25. I can make it in any base, and these will be going in the shop as soon as I can reskein them. Now I have 5 skeins to reskein, and then I can put them in the shop. I don't have to take pictures because I'm still doing the mysteries. I do appreciate everybody who has purchased for the mysteries. I have one yarn that I have to put out for an order this afternoon, so I can get it out tomorrow. She bought it on Sunday, so I need to get that out. And I think she was one of Crystal's people, or it might be someone from Adagio. I don't know for sure. So that's the shop. I hope to be dyeing more yarn for the next week or so, but once we get past the end of this week, I don't guarantee anything, because we're going to be trying to get things ready for Talia's surgery, and I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of time to do that kind of stuff. Also, I might not be in the headspace to do it, because I'm going to start getting concerned and little, you know, I know that everything's going to be fine, but it's major surgery, and yeah, so we're going to have to probably get going here because she's falling asleep. Do you have anything to show?
The only thing we have for stash enhancements is what you have there.
Okay. So my stash enhancements.
One second.
Oh, right here they are. We had a very, we had a surprise package from Christina, who is Mama C. She keeps us very much in prizes. She's very, very generous with us. I left the stickers up there. I can't show them to you. They're stickers for my journals. Okay, let me see what she said for these. Okay, the 3 balls. The 3 balls of teal green. This is one prize for somebody, for some along. The three skeins of yarn, and this is I don't know what yarn this is. I've seen it before, but I don't know what the yarn is. And this is losing its ball band, so I don't want to fiddle too much.
It's almost like one of those things that Lovecraft would send out with one of their boxes.
Well, this, I think I bought one from our local yarn shop before it went kaput. You know, the one in Warrenton.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The other thing, okay, so that's that one. And then that's one prize that she gave us. And this one here, ooh, that's pretty. This is Kismet yarn, and this is the Soul colorway. Isn't that gorgeous?
That
Gray and black and stuff like that. Very pretty. And then the last one that she sent was this too, and this is 2 red orange. This would be another prize. Okay, and this one is Fable yarn, Fable Prince yarn, Drops Fable.
I've heard about Drops Fable.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. So these are all 3 different prizes from our very generous Mama C, who is Christina, the lady who made my bag, the owl bag that she made several owl bags for me. And she's very, very generous, and we appreciate her very much. So thank you very much, Christina, for your generosity. We really appreciate it because we give out the prizes we give out because of generosity like Christina's, and we're grateful. We're gonna skip life stuff because Taya can't handle it.
Well, it's very quick anyway because I do want to cover very briefly some certain updates.
All right, wait a minute. If we're going to do live stuff, then I need to say goodbye and thank you to all the people who commented, who don't want to stay for the live stuff, because I know that not everybody wants to hear live stuff or medical stuff or anything like that. So if you're one of those, that's fine. We'll see you next week. But we want to say thank you for stopping by. And if you're one of these people, we want to make sure we thank you for commenting. Chronically Crocheting, Brittany, Adele, Meditative Crafter, Wendy, who is MacGyver, Stacy's Journal Journey, Kara, and Rena. Thank you very much. If I missed somebody, it's because I didn't see it when I was doing my notes. Okay, so I'll give you a second to go, and then we'll talk about a little bit about life, and then we have to go because she's not going to last much longer.
So, I did get in for my dysautonomia doctor was able to fit me in that last Thursday, so very soon after we had our podcast. Much to my surprise, I wasn't sure. I honestly thought we'd have to possibly move the surgery back because I didn't think that he would be able to get me in on time. So I had my echo. I had my note that says, "Yep, you're cleared." Family practice has sent it on their clearance onto my neurosurgeon, so we have most everything done other than the actual surgery. So it's really great to have that process taken care of, other than the COVID test, but you can't do that till 4 days before.
Right.
Which will be the day before you leave.
Right.
Because they don't do it on Sunday.
Nope.
Or on Saturday.
Nope.
So
figure, right?
Yeah, so the only day I can get it done is the Monday, which is the day before we leave.
Right. Laura wants to know how the weather's looking.
Well, we said thunderstorm coming.
Thunderstorm coming tomorrow, yeah. Okay, so, I was just checking because I got tinged a couple times.
But the reason I had so few projects is I have been fighting migraines most of the week, or extreme light sensitivity, of course fatigue. When I went to Dalla's, they had someone there who does different breathing techniques that can help with different symptoms. And while I was there, they did help. They don't seem to be helping quite as much here. I'm probably not doing them with the frequency I should.
Right. That's why I'm not used to them yet. So when I see her eyes half closed like that, it's hard to tell with her glasses if they're fully closed or not. That's why I was nudging her, because I didn't realize it. And that's why she said, "Mom, I'm doing the breathing exercises." So if you don't know, that's what it was.
Yeah, because with that particular one, I'm trying to destimulate, so I almost have to look. For most people, that would be like what they might do to get themselves to a point where they get sleep. For me, I'm just trying to reduce the stimulation level, because I'm not falling asleep because I'm tired. Well, I'm tired, but I'm not falling asleep because I am naturally tired. I am falling asleep because I have such adrenaline spikes that it wears me out. If I destimulate, the relaxing actually could make me have more energy. And that was the effect I noticed in the office, where he had 2 different breathing exercises. One where you had to let your breath out in an explosive burst, and after that I was exhausted, couldn't think. Then after the one that I was trying to do, I could think a lot clearer and I was a lot less fatigued. But it's hard to do it in the middle of doing something else.
Right.
I was trying to get the energy up enough, but couldn't quite get there.
So, we do want to say something about our next live stream.
Right. We have, the next live stream is supposed to be, first of all, it's normally second Friday. But we had to move that because I wanted to get confirmation, and Sacrament Sick as close to surgery as I could.
Confession.
I thought I said confession.
Confirmation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Confession and Sacrament Sick as close to surgery as I could. So I have that the second Friday, which is the last Friday before my surgery.
Yes, a few days, 3 or 4 days.
So yeah, I think it's closer to 5. But because it was 4 days, I would have been able to get my COVID test that day.
Yeah. It's just 1 day off. It's 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I have that then to move the live stream up a week, but Mom has one of her appointments for jaw that day, so we're doing it the first Thursday of the month, which is actually September 1st. We couldn't do it the second Thursday of the month because I have a hair appointment. Again, I wanted to get my hair appointment as close to the date as I could. I'm gonna have her cut it a little shorter than normal because I don't know when I'll feel up to coming back.
You won't know that was short normal because when you see her, it'll be grown out.
Right. Exactly.
It might be longer than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the last podcast, and the last podcast before we leave, so we have one more normal podcast.
Today, yes, I think it's one. I think it's one more regular podcast.
Because we have first Thursday, then Friday, and then... Yeah, because we have 2 Fridays before surgery. 2 Fridays before surgery from this week even. Because the Friday coming up is the first Friday of the month. And then the next Friday is the second Friday of the month, and then it's surgery. So that means that the next Monday is the last normal podcast, and then we have a live one. We do a live podcast, so I don't have to do anything to it. And then for the rest of the time, it's just until I'm back. Mom's gonna be doing live podcasts. And then we'll go back to our normal format after that point. And we will probably set up in here, just not with the light apparatus.
Yeah, because it's easier. I don't have to move all my stuff out of the room, and it's more space, and I don't have to worry about.
It'll be like when we do the lives for the patrons.
Yeah.
And the internet's better in here.
Yeah. Are they going to be able to talk?
They'll be able to type.
Okay. So this is not going to be a normal thing, because normally that is something we only do.
Right. This is an unusual circumstance.
Yeah. This is only because that's usually for the Patreons, but in lieu of being able... we wouldn't be able to podcast if we didn't do it that way, and we don't want to make it so you guys don't have a podcast for 3 weeks.
Because I want as little effort on Mom's part as possible. I don't want her to feel like she has to upload videos, and not to mention it's my account. So I don't want her to feel like she needs to upload videos or anything like that. I just want her to be able to hit go after I get her into my account, hit go, and then just start talking, and then hit stop. And just the same way, I'll get her into my Zoom account for the one Zoom that she'll be doing without me. I should be able to do the next Zoom after that. And all she has to do is hit go. Laura will help her. Yeah,
Laura's my techie on the other side.
Laura will help her get people in and that's for the patrons. But yeah. So we only have one more normal podcast, and then they'll be live until I come back.
Although Laura also is going to be on her back.
She said that she can actually sit. Because of where her surgery is, she's actually not as limited in movement as I am. Because we were talking about that on the Zoom, where I thought the same thing. Like, oh yeah, you're going to be flat too. She's like, no, it's not the same. She's lower down. But yeah, yes, Laura and I are surgery buddies. We're having the same back surgery the same day.
We have, without giving out any other names other than Laura's, we have like 3 or 4 people in our group who are having, that we know of, who are having surgery. Oh, Linnea's having surgery today, I think.
Oh, is she?
I think it's today. Today or tomorrow.
Else? I thought there was someone else who was having surgery. Okay.
We have several people who are PHNers who are having surgeries in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We have, we just don't have permission to give their names out. So
now you do know that our mic is very strong. Probably picked up both of those names.
I don't think so. I was doing this. And if they did, then just forget. Poof.
It's all gone.
I'll send a certain person and she can wipe it all clean.
But yes, you keep buzzing.
I know it's. I have this person who has a wrong number.
Oh, you get. I feel like some of these wrong number people. Like I've had one. Like if you're just trying to be nice and tell them they have the wrong number, and then they have a conversation. They have a conversation, and then they're like, "Oh, cool. Can I have Can I have your WhatsApp or whatever?" I'm just like, no, this wasn't meant to become a friendship.
Hopefully she won't call me back.
After a while, I just start ignoring them once I said.
Yeah, well, I just said, she said that she was so sorry that, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And I get that might be an actual conversation. And so I put no worries, God bless. And that is definitely a...
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see if she contacts me again.
But yes.
I don't need to have a complete stranger.
Yeah, no, I've had that happen a couple times where somebody decides that this is a great opportunity to make a beautiful friendship. And usually I'm like, no, that's okay, stranger I don't know.
Apparently you've gotten your second wind.
Well, don't worry, I'll crash after.
We need to call, it's after 1, so we need to eat our lunch. Davina's waiting very patiently because she sees the blue light. So we do want to wish you all a very wonderful, blessed week full of knitting and crocheting, whatever else it is that makes your heart happy. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 519, and that's a wrap.
Bye.
See you when you come back.